Imagine working all your life, paying into the system, and then relying on your pension to carry you through retirement. You'd want your money to keep up with rising costs, right? That's exactly why Triple Lock was created. It is one of the most important guarantees for UK pensioners, but also one of the most debated. With costs soaring and government budgets under pressure, many are asking, could the Triple Lock be scrapped? Let's find out. To understand the debate, let's start with the basics. Around 13.1 million people in the UK receive a state pension. It comes in two versions, depending on when you were born. The old basic state pension. It is for men born before April 1951 and women born before April 1953. The full rate is about £176.45 per week. The new state pension. It is for those born after those dates. The full rate is about £230.25 per week. Now, what about the Triple Lock? This was introduced in 2011 by the coalition government. It guarantees that the state pension rises every April by the highest of these three factors. Number 1. Inflation, measured by the Consumer Price Index in September of the previous year. Number 2. Average wage growth, measured over May to July. And lastly, 2.5%, which is a fixed minimum increase. This means pensioners are protected whether prices rise, wages increase, or both fall flat. If inflation runs high, their income rises with it. If wages surge, pensions rises to match. And if neither happens, there's still a 2.5% safety net. The next increase in pensions will depend on recent data. Here's what we know so far. Wage growth between May and July 2025 was 4.7%. Inflation for September is expected to be lower than that figure, though the official number hasn't been confirmed yet. If the Triple Lock is applied, the old basic pension would climb to about £184.75 per week, and the new state pension would rise to around £241.05 per week. That works out to roughly £9,600 per year for those on the old pension and £12,534 per year for those on the new one. The official announcement will come closer to the autumn budget, but the numbers already highlight how powerful the Triple Lock is in boosting pensioner income. The Triple Lock has always been popular, especially among old voters. For good reason, it provides a shield against the biggest threat to fixed incomes, which is rising prices. Without it, the pensioners could see their money slowly lose value. For many people, state pension is not just a top-up, but their main source of income. And those without large private pensions or savings depend on it to cover their daily costs. For them, it's not just a bonus, but it's survival. Then there's also the political factor. Governments of all stripes have pledged to maintain it because they know that abandoning it could spark outrage. In fact, the current government has promised to keep the Triple Lock for the rest of the parliament. That makes it both a policy and a political shield. But here's a catch. The Triple Lock doesn't come cheap. The Office for Budget Responsibility has estimated that it costs more than 3 times than originally expected. Every time wages or inflation spike, the Treasury faces a bill running into billions. This uncertainty makes it hard to plan government spending, and chancellors love certainty when drawing up budgets. But on the contrary, Triple Lock adds uncertainty since no one knows what inflation or wage growth will look like in a year in advance. There's also a fairness question. Critics argue that younger generations are footing the bill while struggling with their own challenges, like higher housing costs, student debt, and slower wage growth. To them, the Triple Lock looks like a promise that's benefiting one group at the expense of another. If the triple lock were replaced, pensioners might still see annual rises, but often smaller ones. For example, if inflation fell below 2.5% and wages grew modestly, then pensions might rise by just 1 to 2% rather than the guaranteed 2.5%. Over time, that difference adds up. This could erode the living standards of retirees, especially those that solely rely on state pension. On the other hand, the government would gain more predictable spending, which would further increase more pressure on taxes and borrowing. The triple lock has been one of the most important protections for pensioners since 2011. It guarantees that their income won't fall behind wages or prices, and it also offers stability during uncertain times. Yet, it also poses some challenges. It's expensive, it's unpredictable, and it's politically sensitive. So for now, the pensioners could breathe easy, but the future of triple lock is far from guaranteed. With that being said, I have a quick question for you all. Should pensions always rise by the most generous measure, even if it costs billions? Or is it time to rethink how we protect our retirees while keeping the system fair for everyone? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned until next time.